Did somebody say triple chocolate brownies? Gluten-free? Sugar-free? I sure did. Now let's get to it. Welcome back to Cooking with Kayla D. I'm Kayla, and this is my husband, Randy. My disclaimer. If you haven't done so, please like, subscribe, and remember to hit that notification bell for all the latest episodes as they release. And now for our ingredients. This will serve 12 pieces of brownies. You need 4 to 6 ounces of baking chocolate bar, 1/2 cup of melted butter, 1 cup of granulated sugar substitute, 1/2 cup of brown sugar substitute, 3 eggs, 1/4 teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. You'll also need 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1/2 cup of gluten-free flour of choice, 1/4 cup of cocoa powder, and 6 to 8 ounces of sugar-free chocolate chips. Now first off, you want to take your chocolate bar and you want to go ahead and cut that up. You can use 2 chocolate bars if you want, that is fine. It will just be even more fudgy. I am using a 60% dark cocoa. If you are diabetic, I recommend getting 75% or higher because that means that there is less sugar, and to use the dark chocolate. Don't use the other chocolates. Those dark chocolate at a 75 to 95% really do well to not have any sugar in it, and that way your insulin levels will not be spiking up and your blood sugar glucose will be in check, and you can still enjoy a delicious treat. So after you get your bar done, you just want to start slicing it up, roughly chopping it, and this is just cutting it into smaller pieces so then we can melt our chocolate for our brownie recipe. Be very careful when doing this. There was a time when I was cutting like this and I actually put my fingers, I had them curled under, and I cut my finger. So just be careful. You'll want to put your chocolate bar then into a microwave safe bowl. And once you get your chocolate into that microwave bowl, you're going to go ahead and add in your butter. You can have your butter already melted, or you can go ahead and add it in cold and then melt it down. I chose to put half of my butter directly in to my chocolate, and then I'm going to melt that down together. And I cook mine in the microwave. I start out with 30 seconds, and then I'll remove my bowl and stir it, as you'll see here. And then after the 30 seconds, I continue microwaving at 15-second intervals. So you'll just want to stir it around after your first 30 seconds. And it may not look like it's melted much, but it actually is. As you can see here, it's melted an awful lot actually. So after I got that stirred really well and combined the butter in with the chocolate, I stuck it in for another 15 seconds. And after that additional 15 seconds, it was ready using 1 chocolate bar. And then after I got that stirred in to make sure I got all the chocolate melted, because even if there's little chunkies, you just keep stirring and the heat from the rest of the mixture will melt it down so you don't have to cook it. You don't want to burn your chocolate. The rest of my butter I stuck into my large bowl and microwaved it for 25 seconds and got it almost completely melted. I didn't want to microwave it too long because, again, I don't want that butter to burn my chocolate bar. There's nothing worse than burnt chocolate. Ooh-wee. After I made this recipe, it dawned on me I should have put a little bit of coffee in it, because coffee does enhance the flavor of your brownies. Anytime you're making chocolate cake or chocolate brownies, just adding a couple tablespoons of coffee really does enhance flavor. No, I don't mean put coffee grounds directly into your brownies. I'm talking about either coffee when you make it and you have some, just take a couple tablespoons out, save it aside if you know you're making brownies that day. Or you can also use some instant coffee and just use like a teaspoon of your instant coffee, mix it with 2 to 3 tablespoons of warm water until dissolved, and then you can add that right into your batter. It does enhance the flavor of your brownies, but without it, it is fine too. I just wish I would have remembered, because it would have been so much better, because I have had it and it's delicious. You can't even taste the coffee. So anyways, I'm continuing to whisk around my chocolate into the butter until I have it well incorporated. I'm going to go ahead and add in my brown sugar. I'm also going to leave a link up here at the top because there is no sugar substitute that I have found at any of the specialty markets or regular grocery stores that do not have regular cane sugar in it. So even though it says it's sugar-free and diabetic friendly, folks, I hate to tell you, the FDA allows that, but it is not. So I would say instead of looking at your nutrition where the sugar is and it says 0 sugar, to actually go down to the bottom of your package before buying it where it says ingredients. And if it says sugar on there, then folks, it does in fact have sugar, and it will affect your blood sugar and your insulin level. So be very careful when purchasing something that says it's sugar-free or diabetic friendly when it absolutely might not be. And that's usually 99% of the time. So my advice is to go ahead and use this erythritol monk fruit sweetener I just showed you and mix in some molasses with that. And I have a video on that. So like I said, the link was there and you can click on that. I'll also put it in the description area. So you can click on it there and go back to it later on if you want to continue watching the video. It's very easy and only takes like 5 minutes to make it. So I make my brown sugar at home and I keep it separate. And I'm not diabetic or anything. I just like to have sugar-free options that are natural and healthy for my body because I don't need that sugar. I want a healthy gut. I don't want to be getting sick all the time. So next I added in my vanilla and stirred that in really well. And now my cocoa powder. I'm stirring that in really well. Like I said, triple chocolate. And so far we've got 2 different types of chocolate. The chocolate chips makes 3. So if you want to add like chocolate chunks and all that kind of stuff, you can too. Just remember, if you are diabetic friendly, to of course be using sugar-free and make sure in the ingredient says 0 sugar. I'm adding in my salt now. I say pink Himalayan because white table salt and sea salt will spike your insulin levels, also creating some really bad numbers for your glucose. So my advice is to have some pink Himalayan sea salt on hand to cook with and to eat and to top your food with, because that will keep your blood sugar from spiking and your insulin levels from going up. A lot of things we've been learning. So now I'm putting in my 3 eggs. This is a very easy recipe too, I might add. It was very quick. I was very shocked. Homemade brownies, so you'd never think. So you go ahead and mix that up. Get your eggs well combined into your batter. This will take like 35 seconds because it does take a little bit longer to whip around. Your batter is now gotten thick. Also, if you're wanting to make a regular brownie recipe and you're not into the sugar-free, gluten-free, it is the same exact quantity of ingredients using regular sugar, brown sugar, and using regular flour if you wanted to substitute these out into your recipe. This is the gluten-free flour I'm using today. Go ahead and add that in there. We'll give that a quick mix. And it's not much flour that you actually put into this recipe. I was really shocked. I don't know if I've ever made homemade brownies before, so I can't really say if that is normal or not normal. But if you know, you can leave me a comment in the comment section and let me know, because I thought it was really odd that there was only a little bit of flour in this recipe. I was shocked. Now that I have my brownie mixture all together, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my chocolate chips. I'm using these chocolate chips. I would say not to use this brand. I linked the other brand that I normally use in the comments. They were out, but the Lily brand, they actually melt and your brownies are like gooey. These ones, they actually get hard. It's almost like the chocolate chips kind of burn inside your brownie batter. So I wouldn't advise buying that brand. I bought that at Walmart and I don't advise buying it. If you're gonna get them at Walmart, try to go for the Lily, of course, because they'll be so much better. And then of course, if you have your own brand that you really like and you're into, then go ahead and use that. Went ahead and got my baking dish out, and I got me some cooking spray and sprayed it down, put parchment paper on the bottom so that it don't stick, and then added some more spray to the top of that. And this just makes it easy for cleanup, and you'll see when we pull the brownies out. And you want to go ahead and dump your batter right into your container. It's pretty thick, but do not be intimidated. It is supposed to be. And like I said, if you want more chocolate in it, you can add chocolate chunks or whatever it is that you like, walnuts, pecans. You know, a lot of people like a lot of different things. If you want to put white chips, put your white chips in there. If you want it to be like mint flavored, add your mint flavoring. Whatever it is that you like, you go right ahead and do. Once in a while, I do like to top mine. Dust it after I put it in and I flatten it all out. I do like to dust it with some almond flakes. I just think almond flakes are so delicious, and it just adds a whole depth of flavor. And especially if I do a keto recipe with the almond flour, I really like doing that. And I like it that we do all types of different cooking here. We do a lot of different things as we're learning all these different things, and it's a lot of fun to experiment with different recipes. And then that way we can share them with you guys as well, because I don't feel like there's a lot of recipes that are just so versatile out there, a lot of channels. Usually it's like focused on one thing, and I know YouTube doesn't like that, but oh well. Well, now you're gonna have your oven obviously preheated to 350. You're gonna cook this for 30 minutes. I did check mine at 25 minutes and it still needed to go that 5 minutes, so I went ahead and kept it in. After that, you'll let it cool for 5 minutes. You'll see that the sides will pull away, as you can see here, from the edges after it cools. And then you can go ahead and pull that out. Don't let that cracking fool you. It stayed together. It made beautiful squares. See how clean that pan was? So you'll pull your brownies out. Go ahead and cut you some squares. I will say those chocolate chips were gooey at this point, but after these completely cooled, no matter even if we heated them up slightly, they still would not get melty. They were like hard as a rock inside. So my advice, just don't buy that brand. But look at how delicious those brownies are. They were so good. Ugh, so fudgy. Let me tell you, to be able to eat something that's guilt-free, that you're not going to gain weight on, tell me about it. I'm all about this. This was absolutely delicious treat, and I'm so grateful we had it. So there you go. Your triple chocolate brownies are gluten-free, sugar-free. And if you stay tuned to the end, we'll have some beautiful pictures here from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And I also took some photos of some beautiful flowers when I went on a walk a few weeks ago.
Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1.
And as promised, we have some beautiful flowers here that I took photos of as we went on a walk. It was a few weeks back, but still early spring, and we would love to share them with you. Also have some photos here of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and Murrells Inlet. And what, as always, we'd like to say thank you for being here on Cooking with Kayla D. As always, we ask you to like, subscribe, and share our channel. And remember to hit the like button. You're helping us out when you do that. You're keeping our channel alive so we can share these photos and these recipes with other people. If you haven't done so, you can click the icon here on the left to subscribe to our channel, and the icon here on the right for more delicious recipes. And as always, we say, stay in that kitchen and keep on cooking. God bless, and until next time, goodbye.